Never before in all our history have these forces been so united against one candidate as they stand today. They are unanimous in their hate for me, and I welcome their hatred.
The needs of working families, the middle class, not just the billionaire class. We know what's going on. We are paying attention.
Good morning, everybody. It is definitely the end of the corporate age. It's also the beginning of, I don't know, some really crazy times. 2018 is turning out to be, it's going to be crazier than 2017. I don't know if everybody remembers 2017. It's pretty crazy. We just finished it. It's really hard to look back and think about that. The cover card says it all about 2018. That our president is absolutely nuts and thinks he's a stable genius. He's smart. It's yes. Unbelievable what he's not real smart. He's like smart. Right? That's a clarification.
And not even this.
2018 is turning out to be like 2017 plus one.
Yes. It's like climate change. It's going to get worse. Mm-hmm. Good morning, Markus and Laura and everybody out there.
I got off center on the camera. There I am. Good morning, everyone. Saturday, my favorite day of the week. I survived the flu, the holidays, and a vacation, and I'm still here.
Yeah. You sound better. You look better than ever.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the new improved Laura Livegood. Sounding better, looking better, and framed appropriately. There we go.
Thank you.
To move that around. Wow. It's just wow, is that people showing up? Good morning. I've been trying to start a show early.
It's a great idea.
I forget, was it you? Who gave us that idea?
Yeah, no, it was my son saying that usually when gamers, the ones who play professionally, they'll go on for a few minutes before to let everybody assemble, say hi, and then start the show.
But it was just temporary.
Yeah.
Okay, you still froze?
Well, yeah, I am. We're streaming again, but everything's frozen. I can't read a thing. So this, I like it. Let me stream again, but I can't actually control anything on the screen. So if people are hearing anything going on, which it looks like they are, this is unusual.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to.
I think it's live now. Hi, everybody.
All right. Well, I can't really. This is bizarre. I'm gonna have to.
Oh God.
Oh no! Wait a minute. Right. Well, let's see. It won't change shots for me. Okay, it's broken. We'll be back. It's broken. If you only had any idea how many times I've restarted this show. It's, technology is not our friend today. I apologize, everybody. I'll delete all of this space when I can edit the YouTube video, assuming I can edit the YouTube video. Thanks to everybody that really had nothing better to do than stay here and wait.
And chat. We chatted.
You know, really appreciate
I'm pretty sure they are reading the book right now and waiting.
Yeah. Right.
Are they?
Right.
Do you guys have quotes from the book? I mean, stable. There's so many good ones. Yeah. Hey, Melissa and Jeffrey and Joyce and Chemo, Julie Love, Lynn. How you guys doing? Darcy, good to see you. Barbara, Jan, Real Jingy. Hey, how you doing, everybody? Yes.
And Schultz gave us some money earlier in honor of your mullet. So.
Oh, did you really in honor of the mullet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Full.
So yes, there. Now we're off to a good start.
All right. I appreciate that. I will, if you guys donate money for the mullet, I will continue to grow the mullet. We could make it, we could go full. I told you where I'm going. I'm going full Braveheart, right? and I can poof it out good enough to get that. That's a lot of hair. And this is my last chance because I figured by the next, by the time I hit 50, it's all going to start going away anyway. So I gotta do Braveheart while I can. But anyway, I think the lesson learned here is that mullets get donations and servers need maintenance and independent media networks need money to survive. But that's, yeah. So yeah, we'll be ringing that bell a lot. I need a cash register thing. But what I really want, not of the core group here, you guys have been helping us forever. And yes, I hope we're unfrozen by now. Thank you. John, is it really a mullet? Well, I think it's like the old man show host, scientist, celebrity haircut. That's what it is. Okay, which really is a zero fashion statement, but is accepted because most people that wear it, like me, just don't give a shit. And people are like, we get it. It's okay. Just have your funny hair. Right. So I don't know. I think it's a scientist mullet. Science mullet. That's what this is. A science mullet. There, we've defined it.
Well, I think the defining thing is, have you cut it at all at the top and left it in the back, which is the traditional mullet, or are you just growing your hair out, in which case it's just long hair?
One day I will go to a barber and have them do that, but I have not yet.
Okay.
I just haven't been motivated to go anywhere. So yeah.
The true mullet is real clipped and business in the front and party in the back.
Right. Yes, I know. And I could do the shaved sides and just really go full white trailer trash. Absolutely. And I'm glad. Hi, Louise. Yes, Marcus?
And as we are talking about haircuts, under the impression of yesterday's Progressive Washington show and the man from Ausland, I decided today that I had to pay a visit to my barber, and look what he did.
Oh, that's right. You did get to haircuts. Yes. Very nice. Yeah. Very nice, Marcus.
Yeah, very nice. Okay.
So we got the hairdo topic. We got it.
That's awesome. We are going to run a clip from. We're going to run Oz's clip because it was phenomenal. Progressive Washington had a home run. They knocked it out of the park, and took 3 episodes. That's all. See, that's what the process takes. In 3 short shows, you won't suck. That's
But wait, because Progressive California starts tomorrow, and I want to knock it out of the park in the first show.
We'll see. No pressure.
I've had the advantage of hundreds and hundreds of hours on here with you guys already.
That is true. So, that is true.
But it has been a sidekick, though, and not as host. So that is a big responsibility. Hopefully I won't.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I've already made you a mediocre intro, so you're set to go like everybody else. And awesome. You've got Joe Cicada, who's going to be bringing in the news. And you want to just...
Yeah, well, then
hang on. We got 3 slides before you, so let's just hang on.
Okay,
let's do the 3 slides and then.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, right there. The card. I can't take credit for the title card, everybody. That was just Mr. Ed was trending. This is the quote where it comes from, where the President of the United States. I think that would qualify as not smart, but genius, and very stable genius at that. So he's calling himself a stable genius. After I don't even know. I don't even know where to go with that. It doesn't really matter.
Like really smart.
Right.
Yes.
Is that? Oh, that's the top one. That's the top one. That's the being like really smart. Yes.
And this tweet is the proof that he is not smart. He is the opposite. He's dumb as fuck, because we can use those words in this show. Because listen, what he's doing, he's doing the typical Streisand effect, And
the Streisand effect.
Yes. By saying he doesn't want the people to read or buy the book, and to go so against the book, he makes it even more interesting. And if you look at the selling rates, look at Amazon or the other bookstores, it was sold out by noon. What I read, And everybody now this weekend is sitting there at home who got a copy of this book and is reading all this. And he inflamed all the interest for this book,
He did.
Yeah. And this is not smart. This is stupid. This is dumb.
Maybe he owns a big share in the book sales. I mean, he could just be, working it.
Everything is no. He's not smart. No. This would be smart.
Distraction.
Yeah. Also this.
Yes.
All right. Well, Brahm said what everybody's saying, including the other things that we're trending today, which happened to be Stephen Hawking, in reference to somebody saying he's a real genius, and then somebody else saying, or him having a quote that says, anybody who calls themselves a genius is a loser. The markers by which we declare somebody a genius are ridiculous. So we'll just leave it at that. Having been labeled one, Mensa and kids and gifted programs, which is a whole other thing about the failure of our education system to actually treat individuals as individuals, instead of let's see if we can shove as many children into one container of learning experience as we possibly can, and then the outliers get labeled as weird or incapable or need to be put in different programs, right? And that's how those terms come around. I think every human brain has the potential to be fucking incredible, but it has to be nurtured and educated in the way that it wants to be. But that means an education system that actually focuses on the human being and the individual and not mass education, right? Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation for when we get well beyond UBI and universal health care, and it's got so far to go with that shit. All right, moving on, because we need to move away. Laura's like going to burst if we don't get to her show.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah. So
I took a deep breath.
So, plus you had all that energy saved up from having a flu, so you're just like,
Yeah.
Yeah. This is happening. Larry Taylor, Sundays. I want everybody out there to please, and I say everybody, the core group that watches us when we can get the server to work on Saturdays, which this is kind of the relaxed show. Share our content, please, throughout all your networks. You've donated and volunteered enough. Now I just need you to spend time on social media. So share this out, because we're really trying to grow the people that we can bring in here to guilt into donating. I mean, to watch our programs. That's right. No, seriously, we're actually working to expand, and we want to move into a building that we've identified in Albany, Oregon. Hopefully, the old JCPenney building. It's kind of cool. And from there, if we have a place where we can set up a full studio that's not in my garage with flies and a grow room, and we can hire staff, right? Then we can expand what we do to so many places. I'm talking to the Pole Rev Live group about doing a progressive Colorado, except it'd be kind of like a hub, like DIA, and branch out and cover a whole bunch of different places too. Because we need something out that way. We've got progressive California coming up after progressive Oregon, and Laura Livengood is going to tell you all about that, because here's that card. So Laura,
Yay.
Tell us about your show with Joe Scotta and guest Stephen Jaffe.
Yes. So we are completing the Western Wall with Progressive California, and that starts tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, you guys, this is all about California. And we are really going to be focusing on the progressive issues that Californians need to be aware of and looking at and focusing on moving up to the 2018 election, not 2020. We really are focusing on what's happening this year. That's the goal of this. And my first guest is Stephen Jaffe, who we've talked with several times before, and I really trust him. He's running against Nancy Pelosi in San Francisco, in Congressional District 12, and he is a Bernie-crat. He worked on the Bernie campaign. I really trust his judgment on having his ear to the ground on the progressive movement in California. So he's going to join us to kind of set a roadmap for the year, which is kind of the roadmap for the first few shows. We kind of see what resonates. We're going to be talking about important races to watch, important issues for the state of California, important groups to support, what his opinion about the victory to roadmap, the roadmap victory is for California. And then we're going to have a news segment with Joe Scotta. We're going to talk about events, and that's going to be our first show. And that is really going to set the stage for subsequent shows. My second one will be Michael Feinstein, who's running for Secretary of State as a Green candidate. And he's going to be talking about election integrity, which is one of the big issues that we've identified. And the next one will be David Hildebrand talking about healthcare, another huge issue for Californians. Like that. So these are going to be candidates and activists and experts of all types who are going to be coming in talking a little bit more focused than on We the People interview more on areas that really are passionate to them and let you meet them and just learn more about what is really important for progressives in California.
Awesome.
I did breathe during that a little.
Once I heard you. I heard you get a little short of breath at the end there, like, I'm gonna finish this.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm a little bit ramped up for it. This is tomorrow night, the big debut.
I'm very excited for you.
And John is teasing me no end about this, but he's going to be there with me. And
I don't have to coddle. I don't have to
great.
be nice. You know, you've got all this experience. You're a pro, so I just have fun with it. And
and Laura will rock it. This is no doubt. You know.
No,
I've had some practice, so thank goodness. And I appreciate being able to grow with this channel and get to the point where I felt like I could actually do this. So thank you for the vote of confidence.
You guys realize without Laura, we wouldn't be here, because there was a point with Uphill. Well, there was a point before Uphill Media where I didn't know what to do. I didn't have anybody helping. We were kind of in a slump, and it was
I did
one of
kind
those
of
listless
drag
times.
you out of your garage, didn't I?
Mm-hmm. You kind of got this thing going again, and that was so yeah. And Markus was, and that's and then that's how this thing got re-going. So
and then Larry, and then Ashley.
Larry
and
is Justin
wow.
Bryce. Justin Bryce was the person who
Yes.
forced me to get connected with my community down here. So I will always thank Justin Bryce, who
Yes.
is now currently working on developing a show with his company CBI. They were very interested in. He pitched it to them Friday. So that's going to be exciting. Anyway,
This is
I'm
about
excited.
science and environment and et cetera like that. In fact, they'd be a great guest to have on Progressive.
They would. They would. So I'm very excited about your show. Very
Yes.
excited. Thank you
Me too.
for doing
Me
this. And Joe, I don't know if Joe's in the audience right now, but hey, Joe, thank you for all the work you guys are doing. And thank you to all the volunteers that make this happen. We need more.
Yes.
And California progressives, if you see the show and you like it and you want to be involved, there is a place for you. You
Yes.
know?
Yes.
We want either finding people to interview or being interviewed yourself or identifying a cause or a candidate either for our show or for We the People. Rock on. This is a group effort, and we really want to make this a place where progressives can come and get involved. This is a media organization for you. So
Exactly. And if we can expand, we'll expand. I mean, if we can get a solo going and you guys want to put together a crew out in California that's going to rallies and broadcasting things, we'll support that, right? It's actually, there's lots of potential in California. You got a huge state. So let's just see where we go. Let's get the show going and get some people involved in this. And then the sky is yours, because we have to do this. I'm going to jump ahead something real quick and say that the city of Fort Collins has just approved, I can't remember the number. It's a lot of money. It's like $150 million. I think it's $150 million investment in their own fiber ISP network. The same thing that the city of Longmont did. So Fort Collins is now going to do it, right? There's a state. Look at this. There's a state law in Colorado that says you can't build your own ISP. Wonder how that got put in. That got put in probably by Comcast and CenturyLink, the two companies that opposed the Fort Collins ISP bid. It was approved 7-0 by the city council, and they basically said, we're just going to override state law. Fuck you. Same thing that Longmont did. We're going to override state law and build our own fiber network. Stop us. Right? And this is what we have to do. And the only companies that are going to complain, the only people that are going to complain about a city or a community building their own ISP are going to be the big corporate interests that don't want the competition or realize that it's going to destroy them, and any politicians that are on the take from those big corporations. Right? We have to do this in Albany. We have to do this everywhere we want to have information flow that isn't restricted, blocked, or censored. Right? So I just want to say, thank you, Longmont. Thank you, Fort Collins, for leading the way on that. Other cities that are doing it. We got to do it here, right? And so we're trying to work with Etheric Networks, and we are in the process of that. That's why we're applying for grants. So, hey, if you're out there and you happen to find this and you're one of those giant grant companies that hands out gobs of money, we're looking for you. And actually, thank you to Joy for helping us with that, because she's taught me so many things. Apparently, grants are all about sales. Go figure. Anyway. Really quick, January 8th, which is, 2 days? Jeez. Alison Hartson. Yeah, Monday.
yeah.
Candidate for U.S. Senate, California. She is running Feinstein, right?
Mm-hmm. Against Feinstein. She's the Justice Democrats candidate. It was announced about a month or so ago.
Great.
Maybe a little bit more. But lovely person. I'm looking forward to meeting her on Monday.
Awesome. Thank you for setting that up. Yeah, we've got a lot of We the Peoples coming up. And then who is next? January 10th. Oh, right. We're back to a double week again. We had the time off. Now we're back to the full swing. January 10th, Marc Whitmire, candidate for Tennessee 2nd District.
Yeah,
awesome.
So I think it's our first Tennessee candidate, so this will be great. We're really trying to hit every state as much as we can.
That's awesome. There you go. There's a picture. I'm excited. It's very exciting. Just so you guys know, We the People is kind of, we kind of go after a national scene of whoever shows up or looks interesting, or somebody sends us, you should have this guy on or this person on, right? We're trying to develop the state shows to interview as many local candidates as possible for the local races, right? But this is why we talk about California. There's so many people running in so many places that, we could develop California into a whole series that's just interviewing candidates that has nothing to do with what Laura does. She could be the one that comes on and does segments and go, we had interviews with these people and these people, right? So there's a lot of development. We have to make this median. And now is the time. I've been talking about this for 2 years plus, about the new muckrakers. Right? And we've got some big giants in that realm with Democracy Now! And TYT to some extent, but it's more groups like us, independent news people working in their areas, expanding as they can to bring the news to the electorate. This is what we have to do. So if you want to help, please. We the Californians. There you go, Melissa. Nice. I want to stop real quick before we move on. There's a couple other things, but I saw Eco post something earlier that I wanted to comment on. You asked, how can we address automation as progressives without addressing labor? Education. One word answer. Educate your populace so that they're not doing the jobs that they were doing in the 20th century so they can do jobs in the 21st century. Jobs aren't going away, they're just changing. All right. So education is my one-word response to that. Right. And I'm sure we'll have lots of discussions around that. All right, this is coming up way too fast for my taste. This is happening on the 13th.
It keeps you up at night.
Yes, it does. Real Jingy says, putting out all the splinter cells for Uphill Media. Thank you. Going to blanket the countryside to get the word out to progressive folks out there. Thank you. Really appreciate that.
There's some waking up going on. It's nice to see.
There is. It really is. It is. All right. So this is happening on the 13th. This is going to be a cool discussion. Tim Harris is going to be involved. I should have loaded all these slides. I have them. I haven't loaded them. We'll talk about it more later. Another show. So this is happening in Washington. Ashley Terry from our group, Uphill Media, is going up there to help broadcast this with a bunch of volunteers they have up there. Supreet Kaur has put this together with the Sarah Smith campaign. And I'm just going to give a shout out right now to Sarah Smith. I'm sure all of you have seen Sarah and Dorothy on a number of shows. Sarah Smith really needs your help because she's running against a guy who shares her last name, named Adam Smith, who seems like a progressive, but he's not. All right. So we really need to help Sarah. Dorothy Gasquet also needs support. She's got a pretty big ground game going on. And what we really need to do for both of these young ladies is send donations and spread the word, help them raise campaign money, because Washington's faced with the same problem that we have down here in Oregon, where it looks progressive, but it's really filled with a lot of establishment. All right. Anyway, this is one of the things we're talking about. Tim Harris, who's an authority on housing and homelessness, he's going to be giving the keynote address. And then they've got a panel lined up that includes Sarah Smith, a number of other people. This will be happening at 5 p.m. It's happening at a Carpenters Local Union Hall. Ashley Terry's going up there with our gear. We're going to be broadcasting this. Really want you guys to help out and share this. We're trying to raise money for the cause, raise money for the network. And the panel is going to talk about solutions. how do we solve these problems? Not just talk about statistics and what's, how terrible it is, but how do we solve these issues with the legislators we have in office, or what kind of people do we need to put in office? And then what kind of laws do we need to enact? Actions do we need to take to fix this problem? Right. So I'm really excited to hear about that. Thank you, Supreet, and everybody up there. I think it's Our Revolution King County, Washington Bernie Kratz, Our Revolution King County, working really hard to put this together. So thank you, everybody involved with that. And then that's it, because that's Jes Phoenix. That already happened. But that's why you have the sun here, because we had Jes Phoenix, right, Markus?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So do you want to talk about, you want to lead us into segments and talk about...
Yes, we prepared, of course, we prepared the feedback of our viewers to our candidates, and in this case, it was Jes Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a very, very interesting interview and a great guest, and it was impressive to see someone from science talking about climate change, fracking, etc. And I think it was very important, or is important, that she will win this, and. The feedback we got to the show was from Dencity, for example. He says, "Wow, brass tacks, no snake oil with this one. One very impressive woman. One of the best interviews on We the People. Kind of reminds me of Paula Jean, Swearigan." And yes, nice. And I can agree. Yes, I have the same impression. And a lot of power, a great woman, and I hope she will win. Larry Poorman says, "So enlightening, so encouraging, a politician who thinks logically. What we need is thousands or 10,000 Jes Phoenixes on the progressive ticket." And I can only agree. And there's one thing, and and I can agree. Yes, Manimus 11 says, "People, please, let's stop saying global warming. Republicans take that and twist it around, saying that since it's called global warming is bullshit. Let's stop playing their game. Let's call it what it is, climate change. If we always say that they can't attack it because the climate is changing, but there are stupid people that don't understand that climate change is the result of global warming. So let's stop playing their game and all say climate change." I can agree to this. A little bit cryptic. But I think it is climate change, and what the consequences are from climate change, we all know this. And the next one is coming from Jilly Love, and I answered her post in the video we had. She says, "So she voted for Clinton in California because lesser of two evils. What kind of peace-loving environmentalist voted for Clinton over Dr. Jill Stein? Yeah. Why should we trust her not to cave to lesser of two evil policies? Why is she a Dem, not Green? Why support Dems when their policies do not support our environment or social justice or living wage or healthcare? Walk the talk with your vote too. Or GTFO, I would spell it like this. We have no time to pussyfoot around." I answered her, and I think I see where she's coming from, and I think we are all impatient about what's going on, and that we need a change as quick and as soon as possible. But we got to take the people with us, And I think only because of a decision voting for the lesser evil, if it may be Trump or Clinton, is no shootout criteria in my opinion. This would contradict, for example, a guest we will have in February, a guy like John Fetterman, who is not a guy who is only doing the talk. He proved that he did walk the walk, what he's doing in Braddock and what he's done in 12 years in Braddock. And he clearly, for the same reasons, he says the lesser evil was in this case for him, in his opinion, was Hillary Clinton, because he was thinking about the Supreme Court. And I think we cannot go on with the black and white thinking. I think everyone with a progressive agenda deserves a chance. If those people fail, then they have to be replaced. The most important thing is to stay awake and to to see what's going on, But
we can't let our purity tests make us throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's just we're going to miss so much good if we reject on one thing we disagree with.
Yes.
Well, all right. So let's thank you, Markus. So I want to hang there for a second, because I want to make sure we clarify in that. Not having a purity test doesn't mean that we don't hold them accountable.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, that's, and you know, you can certainly, I have a purity test.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have some basic things that if they're not going to do, then no. But the thing is, they can all lie. They can all say, oh, yes, I believe in human rights. Oh, yes, I'm going to vote for this and that, you know? I mean, I'll use Randy Bryce as a perfect example. I think Randy Bryce is an upstanding citizen. I think he's a great person. I think I can trust that if he gets into office and defeats Paul Ryan, that he will definitely make some votes for the good of humanity and the good of people and be on the right side of just being a normal, decent human being. I mean, it doesn't take more than that. Really, right? If we want Randy to be truly progressive, then it has to be beyond decency. It has to be an aggressive agenda of change for the sake of humanity. That's what we have yet to see of any of the people that claim to be progressive. I have no doubt that when they get into office, they're going to be decent human beings. All right? That's like level 1. We don't have that right now in Congress. We don't have but maybe a couple decent human beings. The rest are absolute piece of shit psychopaths. All right? We replace them. We get decent human beings. Yay. That still doesn't mean they're going to vote in our best interest. Randy Bryce now takes money from the DCCC. To me, that is a sign, a direct sign of nope, 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 nope. All right? But I've talked to him. I know that he's a calculated speaker because he understands the game he's playing, and he's running against a dude who's uber powerful. Doesn't matter how much we hate the man, Paul Ryan is powerful right now. He's got a lot of money behind him. Right? So Randy Bryce has to be careful. Aligning with the DCCC, that's a move I'm not sure was the best, but now he's got uber bucks. Right? And we don't know what commitments he's had to make to take that Uber. So that's what worries me, is shit like that.
Yes.
Until he's in office, until we see him act, we can speculate all we want. And on Julie Love's comment about Clinton and Green and all that stuff, it doesn't matter. What matters is if she gets elected and what she does. Right? Talk, 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 talk. Jess Phoenix can be just as empty as any other politician once she gets in office. We don't know. Right? That's our job, is to watch what they do and hold them accountable when they lie or when they don't do what we said. Even I was brought out by somebody reached out to me from another group, and they've got this CFAR, which is supposed to be some kind of legal binding thing that holds politicians to their words. Like, no, stop trying to make it preemptive. You hire an employee and you say, we're going to have, you're willing to do these things, sweep the floor, do this, whatever we say, blah, blah. And the employee says, sure, I'll do those things. Yeah, I'm a good guy. I'll do those things. Here's my resume, right? After that, we don't walk away. All right, he signed a document saying he's going to go do them. See ya. You know? It's our job after hiring the employee to make sure they're doing their job. That's where we stopped. That's where democracy failed. So we just need to fix that. Let's listen to Jess talk about Bernie Sanders running for California CD25, volcanology, which I didn't know was spelled 2 different ways. It actually in the science because of Italy. I think it's Italy. Anyway, let's listen to her. Very cool. And for those of you, Jess Phoenix was intimidating. She's uber smart. She's been on Discovery Channel. She's done all these other programs. I was telling somebody before, I think it was the Progressive Washington group. It's like, oh, well, you make it look so easy when you're on camera, blah, 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 because they're getting all worried about stuff. And I said, I get butterflies when I interview people that freak my shit, people that are uber impressive to me, that I'm like, Jess Phoenix was one of those. All right. So anyway, and she told me she was giving us advice on nonprofit stuff in the green room. Just an amazing human being. Anyway, so here's that video. So first of all, I didn't. I've seen a lot of your videos and stuff. I didn't realize you've been on Discovery Channel and all these other channels. So now I'm a little intimidated because you got some big airtime. Thank you for running. I just want to say thank you for running. We were talking about Bernie Sanders in the beginning. Just tell me where you stand with Bernie Sanders and 2016 and what made you decide to run today.
Well, I supported Bernie in 2016 in the primary, even though I'm here in California, and we all know what happened here. And after that, I backed Hillary because I totally understand. I thought I totally understood what Trump posed as a risk to our country, but even I underestimated how bad it would be. I think a lot of people did, but we knew it wasn't going to be good. And Bernie really got me and my husband excited. And it was because the message spoke to so many things that make so much sense. They're so logical. And I am a scientist. I like logic and I like facts and I like evidence-based policymaking. And I think that was sort of the breath of fresh air and a bit of kind of getting rid of politics as usual. And I think that our country is primed and ready for something totally different. And I think that, Bernie started it, and I think we're going to have a whole bunch of really awesome candidates. Hopefully I'm one of them who can help carry that momentum into a better future for the country.
Absolutely. Wonderful. I thank you so much for running. We need more women running, and we definitely need scientists running. I appreciate that. You're a volcanologist, which I just want you to take a moment and explain to everybody what that means, even though you are a Star Trek fan. It is not about Vulcans, right?
No, although I do get that all the time, and that's largely because in Italy and other places in Europe, they spell it Vulcan, Vulcan, volcanologist. But here in America and most other places in the world, it's VOL. So it's volcanology, volcanoscience.
Right.
And so really what volcano scientists do is we study active volcanoes, and sometimes we study extinct volcanoes. And the holy grail of volcanology is to be able to predict eruptions. And that's not something that we can do yet. Volcanology is a pretty young science. We moved into the modern, the really big modern era of it with the eruption of Mount St. Helens in 1980. So if you think about that, that is probably within the lifetime of many of your viewers. And it's we've been going like gangbusters ever since with collecting data and with understanding volcanoes more fully. But we are still in the early stages of it as a science. So it's a really exciting place to be.
I didn't realize that was. Oh, and that's where I cut off the clip. So I should probably pay attention. Hey. Nice.
Welcome back. I really liked her.
She's awesome. I mean, I was just listening. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you guys, whoever watched the video or the full interview, but she does have some 3 Star Trek people that have endorsed her, and I would love to just have a longer conversation about Star Trek and UBI and all that stuff, because it's really where we need to go.
And she said something very important, in my opinion, during the interview. She said, you will never agree with a candidate to 100%,
Right.
You only if you're running yourself, you can agree 100% because you do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I like this. And this is exactly, we can criticize people for the votes of 2016. It doesn't matter,
Right, absolutely. Something that I haven't cut the clip out yet, and Darcy, if you're out there, maybe you can cut this one, but because I kind of preempted you, the secret is, when I think shows have done spectaculars, I take the time to cut out segments, right? Because that's like a day's work to chop up the full show. So I cut the Washington show into 4 parts because it was great, right? Fantastic stuff. I totally forgot I was going to talk about. I hate doing that. When that happens. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. We had to talk.
There's a nice one from Real Jingy. John was full deer in headlights.
I was. Oh my gosh, I absolutely was. I know what I was talking about. What I wanted Darcy to clip out, and then I want to talk about creatives really quick. But there's a part at the end where she's talking about gun control, and you want to talk about a small world, right? I went to Columbine High School, class of '88. Actually, stayed a year after. Anyway, class of '88 is supposed to be. The Columbine incident didn't happen until later. At the time I was there, it was a really ugly brown building. Before I went to Columbine, though, I went to Mullen High School, and I went to Mullen for a year and a half. And at the time, Mullen was an all-boys Jesuit Christian high school that was one of the 2 really expensive places that you sent your smart kids or your rich kids. Actually, didn't have to be smart, just had to be rich. Or they had to play sports. That was the other thing. Anyway, so find out from Jes Phoenix that she went to Mullen because she's younger. She went to Mullen at a time when Mullen had opened up to girls. I had no idea. that they'd even done that. So that's pretty cool. And she dated guys that were at Columbine during the Columbine thing. I mean, it's just a small world. But the real point isn't that, oh, look, I got, 6 degrees with the point is that her opinion on gun control was very shaped because of those moments. As was mine. Right? I was never a big fan, but after the Columbine incident, right, my wife's got brothers who were in the school at the time. Okay. So it's amazing how these experiences will shape a person's views. So in terms of Jes Phoenix and gun control and how she feels about it in Colorado, which they like guns too. It's weird. They're weird. She's got a much more progressive view on it than her opponents. And that's where, that's maybe some of the places where we, that's a fine line. There's another person running who looks progressive and she says, no. Take a look get down into the details, right? Yeah. Details on the individuals, right? So anyway, it was really, really awesome. That was a great interview. Really enjoyed that with Jess.
Yeah.
You want to set up the next one, Marcus?
The next one is already Progressive Washington, our yesterday's show, and the most reactions came to our new, very hairy guy from the land of Oz himself, and he was talking about the future of jobs in America, and he was absolutely right. There are estimations from scientists which say within the next 20 years about 47% of the jobs in America will disappear and will be replaced by automation. And this concerns questions what to do with the people, and we got some reactions from the viewers. We got one from Marco, I hope I pronounce this correctly, Kraguliac, and he says retail jobs are nothing but a waste of human life and a bad middleman's excuse to skim other hamsters stuck in the same cage. As a buyer, I only need proper information and the product. I don't need to be served by uninformed clerk chained by uninformed clerk chained to the store desk. Better talk and fight for a decent UBI. I don't know if retail jobs are really a waste of human lives, but I think in the future it will be. They won't be existing anymore, and the question is to be raised: what will happen to other people? And remix tapes writes, no more slave jobs. We need to fight for UBI. I completely agree to this. Peace stuff, yes. Also absolutely right. Thanks to Amazon, eBay, Whole Food, only droids will have jobs. Yes, and there is the other danger. We see what Amazon is doing and the other big corporations. It is not the jobs which are going to China. It is the jobs which are replaced by automation and like the big competitors like Amazon and so on, And we have to raise this question. And the sooner we are doing this, the better are the chances it won't be a bloody conflict before this,
It's a really good discussion about UBI and jobs and the future and technology and what happens. And it's I definitely have my views that are Oz and I are going to have a big discussion about that. That was part of this. We're going to watch the clip. I don't think you hear where we talk about that, but in this piece, but it's a discussion that needs to be had. We could do like a whole symposium. I'd like to put together a thing talking about UBI and why it's going to be necessary. And it doesn't matter what you think of it, and it doesn't matter how much you hate Amazon or any of these other places and think that they're responsible for what should have happened probably 50 years ago. Right? We're behind the bar here. Full automation, robots. This should have happened decades ago. Capitalism has completely crippled the advancement of human civilization.
Yes.
And it's completely crippled our ability to comprehend where we're supposed to be. We're uneducated. We don't understand where technology should be. We should all be looking at universal basic income and going, I don't want to spend the rest of my life doing a menial labor job. I want to do something I like to do. That's the advancement of human civilization. That's where it's headed, right? Do we have to transition? Sure. How's that transition going to take place? Well, as Oz points out, nobody's going to stop capitalism from doing what it does. So as retail stores automate, as all the stores automate, as your McDonald's and your Burger King and whatever automate, as Kroger Foods automates, a lot of people are going to lose jobs. And this nation's going to have to choose between just letting that happen or finding a solution. That solution isn't going to come from the current capitalist government, right? So that's just me.
It won't come. It won't come from the government we know so far. Because look, if an unconditional basic income would be installed, this would also mean a loss of influence, a loss of supervision of people, and this is the big question,
Yeah, it'll. There's a whole bunch of change going to have to happen. It starts with replacing people in government and then regulating the shit out of business like it should be.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Business needs to be brought to heel. It should not be controlling our lives. I want to see corporations die. You know why? Because they can. They can bleed out. They can die. They can suffer. They can be tortured. They're not alive. I can say all those things and not feel bad about it. I want to see some corporations die as we replace politicians. It's time. People need to thrive. Corporations need to die. Let's listen to Oz talk about the future of jobs in Oregon.
Anyway, welcome everybody to the land of Oz. This is week 3, and I hope not to strike out. I want to cover a little economy versus lifestyle this week. We're going to talk about all the jobs that people are losing because of closures of big retail outlets. Retailers are bracing for a fresh wave of store closures in 2018. That's expected to eclipse the rash closures of stores that rocked the industry last year. I mean, I could drive down the street and I'd watch a store saying closed go up on the wall. That's scary, and I'm not kidding. 2017 was a record year for both store closures, retail store closures, and bankruptcies. That's a scary thought. You've got Payless. Landlords are panicking. The last year was pretty apocalyptic from a retail standpoint. And we've got to remember, it's just not a store. It's a store full of employees. It's a store full of customers, rebuilding the infrastructure. The employee gets paid. The employee goes and buys gas and buys donuts, buys groceries, whatever. We've got dozens of retailers, including Macy's, Sears, J.C. Penney's. They've closed an approximate 9,000 stores last year, and they're going to probably close maybe several thousand more this year. 50 chains filed for bankruptcy over the course of the year. That's more employees, more people filing for bankruptcy, putting the strain on our system. Now, bankruptcy is just the tip of the iceberg. The number of store closures in the U.S. is expected to jump at least 33% to more than 12,000 stores in 2018. And another 25 major retailers could file for bankruptcy. When does it end? I mean, pretty soon, nobody's going to have a job, so they can't buy their stuff from Amazon. What is Amazon thinking? Amazon is going to kill more jobs, more American jobs than China did. Remember back in the early 2000s, they were talking about, all these jobs are going over to China. Well, Amazon's going to eclipse that. A little fun fact here. I read this week that for every job in Washington state that Amazon creates, 3 jobs are lost. Do the math. It doesn't work that way, folks. It just doesn't work. It is unsustainable, just like our reliance on fossil fuels, just like the climate, everything unsustainable. I hate to be all gloom and doom, but, what the heck? I do have a chart here of stores closing in 2018. Walgreens is closing several hundred stores. Payless, Rue 21, The Gap, Toys R Us. I'm going to miss Toys R Us. Damn it, I like that store. We've got Vitamin World, Jamboree, and you know what? All those employees, they can't go to McDonald's and Subway to work because they're closing stores too. Yes, McDonald's and Subways are going to close stores, so fast food isn't the answer. Now, here's something that we need to think about. AI aside, artificial intelligence, they're already starting to crash cars with self-driving cars and trucks. But Kroger, who owns Fred Meyer's, and that's Washington State and Oregon. John probably goes down there and buys his mineral water down at Fred Meyer's. They're going to bring the shopping cart checkout lines, and that's expanding self-checkout registers to hundreds of stores. So while they got 2 or 3 cashiers checking out on check stand number 13 and 17, they're going to have a bank of 6 to 8 registers that they're forcing you to go check your own groceries out and get through the line, so you don't have to go wait in that line at check stand 15 and 17. Wow, that's great. So they're basically making us do the labor for them, eliminating their cashier staff and saving a lot of money to add to the bottom line. Well, that's great for them, but it doesn't do any good for all those cashiers that are put out of work that won't have money to support their families or pay their rent. Again, this is unsustainable. And what's even better is they're going to make you use or allow you to use your smartphone so you can scan the items after you pull them off the shelf and throw them in your basket. And then it's an app that you can just push on through, and it's going to charge you. You bag your groceries and you're out the door. Isn't that convenient? Oh, yes. How nice. Well, there's no secret as to why chains like Kroger is expanding self-checkout and content test limited fashion for years. They want to cut their costs. And unfortunately, that's going to cut the jobs. I understand why you want to cut costs, but don't do it on the backs of the very people who are your customers. I think Henry Ford back in the day wanted to pay a decent wage so his own employees could buy a car. But wait, there's more. I love this ShamWow guy. He reminds me of somebody that Rhonda just showed earlier. There's more. Down in Oregon, they just struck the law banning self-service gas stations. It's a limited amount right now, maybe counties and things like that. But I promise you, John, you're going to be pumping your own gas down there pretty soon. And though it's going to be convenient, that poor little gas station guy isn't going to be able to go buy his Starbucks coffee or his Krispy Kreme donut, not to mention get groceries or pay his rent. So, that's just the way I'm looking at it. I got to say, it's frightening, but we've been told this for years. That, they always say this. Well, now it's a reality. With artificial intelligence coming down the pike, with all this new technology, we're in trouble. So basically, the rich are going to get richer. The jobs are going to go down the toilet. And I just want to say, oh, happy day. And I would like to thank everybody for coming out to Land of Oz again. And keep an eye on my hair if I don't have it next week. So sorry, the news was going to be pretty rough. Land of Oz supports whole Washington, healthcare for all, because healthcare is a human right. Thank you, John and Uphill Media, for my segment, and I'm going to shut up now.
Oh, you don't get away that easy, buddy. I got some questions. Can't skip away from me. Everybody wants to know, man, where'd you get the hair?
I agree.
So I just realized that this clip is actually not as long as it says it is, and I have all this blank space. It's a 7-minute clip, and this says it's 15 minutes on YouTube. Boy, I was out of my mind yesterday cutting these out. So I will fix that and make that shorter, everybody. That was Oz, and he was awesome. I may not agree with what he has to say, but I understand the position,
Yeah.
And I'm going to be a hypocrite. I don't like pumping gas, so I enjoy having somebody do it for me. However, I'm more than willing to do it myself when I have to, because I don't want to foster the fossil fuel industry. And by keeping people in those jobs, we keep the fossil fuel industry around. All right? So I'm more than happy to pump my own gas to remove people from that industry. Sorry, gas pumpers, Buggy whip people lost their jobs too. Horse and carriage makers. A lot of horse and carriage makers went out of business when Henry Ford brought in the car. All right. Henry Ford paid his employees working wages because he realized it was a way to put money back in the economy.
Cars don't buy cars.
Right, don't buy cars. Right, cars don't buy cars. He also made cars for the Nazis because he realized it was profitable too. So let's just keep things straight there. All right.
I didn't even know that was. I didn't even know that was a thing in Oregon when I was up there and I went to fill up my gas tank. I thought the attendant was just being really nice and coming out and doing it for me.
No,
it was 5:30 in the morning and freezing. So
no, they can do that.
Okay, all right. Well,
right, and Jilly Love, by using fuel, I keep them going, and right now I don't have an option. Sorry, I don't own an electric vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
I owned a couple hybrids when I lived in California, but currently I don't own an electric vehicle. You're absolutely right. You know, so what I do is my best not to go anywhere. I work from home. So does my wife. Right? We have well water, and we make as much of our own food as we can. So I do my best to reduce our carbon footprint, but I still have to use a fossil fuel guzzling vehicle to get where I need to go. That's it. So I minimize where I can minimize. Right? I'd love to own a Tesla. As soon as they make one I can afford, I'm on it. Right? Right? Or as soon as they make an American version of a car like that I don't think is a piece of crap. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm looking for. I'd love it. Those kind of things, there should be a government incentive. We subsidize the fossil fuel industry. We should be subsidizing the electric vehicle industry. So everybody could get a car for 10 grand or whatever amount we want to make up. The government could just give them out, the amount of money we spend on our military in general. But anyway, Oz has some great points in there, but overall, this is, again, stuff that should have happened decades ago. We have to take care of our people. It's not going to, I don't know how we transition them other than education. If they want to be in the workforce, we need to educate them, or we need to provide them ways to not have to be in a workforce, right? The money's there. I think if there's one thing we learned as a citizenship, our nation has tons of money when it wants to spend it on the things it wants to spend it on, right? We have unlimited amount of money. Imagine what we could do with that unlimited amount of money when we're in control of it. Right? I'm going to cut the military budget by 90%. And then I'm going to take that 90% and hand it out to education and NASA first. Right? We've got a lot of money we can divvy up to all the other pieces that get nothing. They get nothing. We could be one of the most awesome nations ever. We just get rid of the assholes that control our money. It's really what it comes, you know? Yeah. That's what it comes down to. What do we got here? Oh, I didn't load any of your other clips, Marcus. Do we have any slides?
We have slides here. We made some memes, which are addressing the past week. Enough happened. And
I feel really dumb. I didn't realize you'd made these nice slides with the comments from our viewers. So
I didn't show them. I didn't even realize it. Okay, this would have been helpful.
I was like, geez, I just got them on screen the whole time, and I didn't see. This is my bad. Look at all these nice slides that Marcus made. With all your guys' comments that I didn't run. You just put the two in there. That's nice. And then this was the Progressive Washington slide from the show, the full show. I didn't prepare, Marcus. I'm so bad. Where are we down here? We down to here? Fire and Fury book?
Yes, okay. Right. Fire and Fury. The loose Bannon.
I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, the MIC does control our country and pretty much the world, Melissa. That's the big evil. That's the emperor that we have to get rid of. So this book came out,
and the ship is sinking. The ship is sinking. The Trump ship is definitely sinking, because look, the most important things for the Republican is done. The tax cut thing is through. Mm-hmm. They don't need him anymore. And now I'm waiting for 2018. What will happen? Because when they realize what's going on in the midterms, or maybe even earlier, mm-hmm. they won't hesitate one moment to get rid of this idiot.
So now it really is a puppet show.
Yeah.
For now, from here on in.
Right, but they're not going to get rid of him. They're not going to get rid. They don't.
No, he's the puppet. He is the president, and he's going to be.
But he hurts them. They cannot. They feel they won't win in 2020. They will see what's going on in 2018 because of Trump, and mm-hmm. this is the reason why they want to get rid of him. Mm-hmm. My opinion.
But not impeaching him now, not re-electing him in 2020 is what you're saying.
Not they impeaching. They won't impeach him right now. But I think let's go a few months further, and then we'll see what's going on.
Well, they're going to promote Mitt, right? Aren't they? Mm-hmm. Aren't they shooting to put Mitt in there? Or no, maybe not. But the Republicans could just the Republicans could just disassociate themselves from Trump in 2020.
And the Mitt's going to run for Orrin Hatch's seat.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Well, still, they'll put somebody up there that they can run as a Republican to beat, that'll win the primary against Trump. That won't be hard, right? They can, but it doesn't really matter. It's all distraction. The book's just funny because you're right. You talked about it earlier, you guys, that he's doing the sales for the book.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. He was the best promoter for this book, you know?
He was. Who said that? That's funny. Yes, the masked head should have tiny hands. They kind of did that right. Melissa, how you guys doing? There's some new people in here. Hey, Mrs. K. Smith. Or if you're not new, it's been a while. Julie Dow, good to see you. Keith, how are you? And just to back on a comment, that was why I think it was Schulte, I'm not sure who it was, said that I bet in John's day there was a lot of people hanging out in the parking lot smoking ciggies with mullets. Yeah. So, it was the 80s. What are you trying to say? At Columbine, Mr. Andres used to let us borrow his truck. And we would drive and go get Burger King on lunch break. Or we'd hide out in the janitor's closet that was right next to the choir room and sneak a cig before class.
And listen to the Scorpions.
No, there was no Scorpions. But Andres is the reason why I actually stayed in high school. That man was awesome. Love that man. A lot of respect. Anyway, yeah, that's a great slide. And then, of course, I'm not even going to go to this every day, right? So today was the brains comment, the genius, staple genius. But before that, we had the my button's bigger than your button.
Exactly. Yeah.
Children running. It just comes down to education. It still just comes down to education.
Yeah, I think the meme speaks for itself, and we don't have to comment. We don't have to comment it any further, and we can go to the evil dwarf right now.
I tell you what, this man is pissing me off. I love that meme. That's good. Good people don't laugh at Jeff Sessions. Yeah, somebody needs to get that man a doobie. Somebody needs to spike his drink, drop him a Molly or something, get him all loosened up, right? I don't know what's wrong with this guy. He's just a little evil bastard. The thing is, I want to clarify.
Keebler elf. I love that.
Yeah. The Keebler elf? Is that what
Keebler, the Keebler elf, yes.
He's Keeble. But it doesn't matter what his policy is. He's not going to stop the states that are doing marijuana from doing marijuana. All he said is that prosecutors in those states can now do what they want. There's no protection, decriminalization, or whatever it was. Big deal. Mm-hmm. Good luck enforcing that. Good luck enforcing that. Right. It is a distraction, Laura. Yeah. It is a distraction.
Yeah. And boy, people are having fun going shopping in California this week.
I bet. Mm-hmm.
I haven't been able to go. I don't even know where my local dispensary is, but I'm going to go.
You better.
Go find out. Check it out, and I will report.
Yeah, and while the first tweets, the first three memes were a distraction, we are coming now to the next one, which is absolutely no distraction, but the thing which is going on, what we're seeing. This is our new climate, what we are seeing.
Well, yes. We've learned lots of new words this year in climate, lots of new statistics. I want a full tally of the records broken in 2017, weather-wise. Because I watch the Weather Channel daily, all right? And every day it was like record high or record low, record high, record low. It was just back and forth, back and forth. Who is freezing their ass off right now? I know that Joy is. I hope everybody is safe. I know that we've got a lot of veterans on the streets right now that aren't safe, right? We've got a lot of people that are dying. The death toll is already up. I don't even know. I don't remember growing up and watching the news about blizzards and storms and seeing death tolls related to them. I don't remember that.
Yeah, you didn't know bomb cyclones.
Bomb cyclones. We didn't know those either. No, we didn't. I'm sorry, that is the term. Bomb cyclone is what they're calling that, right? Because of the drastic difference between the polar vortex coming down and that 78-degree Atlantic Ocean water from all that global warming that doesn't exist. And just to comment on calling it that, 5 years ago I would have agreed with everybody that made the comment. It was Manimus Levin said, stop using global warming, but the world punched Don in the face when he tried to go back to that old bullshit about global warming. Right? It's like the world knows. It's like we've all updated except for Don and Syria or whoever. Don and a couple other people. It's we're there, right? So anyway, what was this? What was the kitty picture for?
And, after all those crap and bullshit and disasters, I think it was healthy to have a look at a cute little cat.
Just a little eye wash.
Yes.
There you go. And now for puppies.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a cute one.
All right. I'm Joy, if you're still there. By the way, Brom, have fun. Go. And everybody who wants to go, he's doing a show.
Joy says it's 1 degree tonight in New York City.
Oh, my gosh. That's nice. Who's going streaking in New York? Eh?
Yikes.
All right. So somebody should do that and get paid a bunch of money. I just want to share a couple memes. These are done by a creative, Christy Taylor. Is a friend of Joy's, and I'm just doing a quick plug here. This one is "Don't Let This Grinch Steal the Internet." She did one, and this is creative work. This is creative artwork that she put time into as a volunteer. Let Freedom Load is another one. Now, why I'm showing you these things, just to give a free plug, is actually to talk more about the need for creative artists and anybody involved with tech, with our progressive movement. Amy Villela right now is looking for people. All of the candidates that we talk to say we need help. We need help with people that know how to make images and memes, even if you're just a drag and dropper. All right, that's what I am. I'm a hack. I don't even know how to use Photoshop. I actually use Sony Vegas to make layers. So, I mean, that's, or I use the Google slide deck. But anybody with any kind of creative bent or that wants to spend some time helping these candidates, please volunteer your time. And I get it. Creatives, you're one of the most valued peoples on the web, all right? You're like gold. You can find a creative that's willing to put up with your ass and willing to spend some time doing some things for you on a volunteer basis. You hold on to that creative and you don't let them go. You put them in a cage and, no, just kidding. On the other
keep
hand,
asking them for more things.
Right, until they burst and scream and run away.
Yeah.
The thing is, that's the thing. Like, most of these people who do this, do it for a living. And so they will need our help and support. So Amy Villela is going to be better off having the funds to pay a creative. However, there's a balance there. If you're a creative looking to break into this industry, if you're a creative looking to find solid work in the industry, politics would be a great place to start. And a little volunteer work one way or the other, or coming up with an agreement, hey, I can do these things. Normally I would charge this rate, but how about I charge less so that we can all survive and do this, right? But we really need to get creatives and tech people involved with all of our progressive candidates, because the GOP and the establishment in general have plenty of money to hire people. I hope they're not hiring our progressive creatives. Please don't go work for those folks. All right.
Don't do that. Yeah, but Freeman Michaels was looking for someone to help him with graphics for his campaign down in San Diego area. So, people, this is your war work. Whatever, if you do it for work, great. Donate some of it, of what you can do, to the cause.
Right.
That's what we're doing right here in front of you.
Right.
The three of us.
Right. We donate what we can, and then we bug you for money.
Yeah, exactly. But we're giving it the best of what we know how to do for something that means a lot to us. And all we can do is ask the same of you guys on a regular basis.
Thank you. Yes, real Jingy. You did sign an NDA. Stop talking about it. Don't tell anybody about the cage. I'm sick our lawyers on you. Do we have any lawyers? I don't think we do.
Add that to the list.
I don't think we do. Wow. So even with all the delays, we still end the show before noon, which I think is nice. We're going to end it at an hour and a half. We're supposed to end it at an hour and a half, whatever. I don't give a shit. That's not bad.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. What? Anything else we got to talk about? I think we got through all the slides. Really.
I think we're through.
Holy shit.
Yay.
That's great. I had a few little. That's right. I had a couple of things to talk about. We talked about Fort Collins. Just on the book real quick. Tom Steyer, that rich guy, bought every member of Congress a copy of that book. So maybe they'll read something. Who knows?
Is he the one who's spending millions of dollars on impeach Trump ads?
Yes,
is that
he
same guy?
Yes, he is.
Please, God, just throw a little of that our way, dude.
Yeah.
We do so much with it.
Oh, this was the article that Mark has actually grabbed for the cyclone bomb thing. It's I don't even gonna show the pictures, but you guys are there. Anybody out there in the east, I'm seeing here. I'll show this picture. So I don't have it framed. Give me a second here. I want to show this picture because take a look at what the car's driving through. I remember a couple months ago, maybe not even, seeing images like this in the same kind of places, except they didn't involve ice. They just involved lots of water.
Yeah, warm water. Now it's cold water.
Right. Right. Talk about making shit worse. Right? This is insane. How long do you think coastal communities are going to be able to put up with this kind of pounding year in, year out? Not very. And there's already a mass migration of people inland. It's going to be one for fun times. Fun. Big air quote times with that. Right? Oh, and to Oz, who's probably not watching this, but I just want to make a comment. I don't drink bottled mineral water. I would never purchase bottled mineral water, ever. I have a well.
But you do. Well, you do get your LaCroix from Whitmire.
I do buy my LaCroix. I'll claim that as yes, I do. You're right. You're right. So you've got your LaCroix too.
Yes.
Although I do have a sparkle soda maker, so if I bother to get some of the little canisters, I could make my own damn fizzy drinks. So thank you, Bev, mother-in-law, for that. Mass Coast is slammed. Anyone in chat in Massachusetts? Yeah, Lynn?
Yeah, she said that they have these floods, these freezing water floods, and then the whole thing actually then froze solid.
Oh, man.
Isn't that fun?
That's insane. That's. I mean, they're basically, welcome to Portland when it snows. That's what we get up here. All right, we get that ice layer. I was watching the Weather Channel guy do that. Underneath all this, he's hitting it with a shovel. There's ice here. I'm like, figures. Yeah, we didn't need to. We got that. Yeah.
Science.
Yes, science. Anyway, you picked The Interrupters. Take Back the Power. You want to talk about this song, Marcus? Tell us why.
I have not a lot to talk about this band because I didn't know this band before. When I watched Michael Moore's movie, the band he picked the song for the credit in the end of the movie, and I think they have the right message. They are coming from California, Los Angeles area, and what I know is there are three brothers who got connected with Amy Allen, and she is the front woman of this band, and they're coming from the ska and punk scene there, and I hope you like it.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you for picking it. Thank you for all the work you do on the Rundown.
You're welcome.
You guys know Marcus puts this together, and I just show up and drop a few things like an asshole and talk. Right? And Laura Livengood, I wish you all the best of luck on your show tomorrow. Are you going to kick serious ass?
Yeah, Laura will rock.
Yeah. So tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific, you guys are this will be the soft launch of it, and we'll be off and rolling.
Help us out with it. Share. Those of you that
Progressive Oregon tomorrow morning too.
Yes. Progressive Oregon. He's gonna be talking to Kevin Stein, a couple other people running. Just who's running in Oregon, right? We got a lot of power to take. Right?
Yeah.
And it's there to take. So thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it. Well, thank you, Barbara. Appreciate that.
This was a good show. It's meaty.
It was a good show, despite the technical errors, which I thought we'd bought hardware to fix. This is not good. All right. What's your plan? We're out of here. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow at 10.
See ya.
Yeah, bye-bye.
What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time. Take back the power. What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time. Take back the power. What you gonna do when they show up in black suits on your street in our mid boots? And they'll silence you. What you gonna say when they strip your rights away and the tax thought has been adjourned, and the lessons that you've learned are not as many as the bridges burned. We don't need to run and hide. We won't be pushed off to the side. What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to get back the power. What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. We don't need to run and hide. We won't be pushed off to the side. What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power.